So in this section, we're going to be talking about graphs, independent variables, dependent variables, and actually how to make our graphs. So to be able to do that first, we need to know some definitions here. We need to know what a variable is. A variable is a quantity or condition that can change over time. You've seen some variables before. The most commonly used one would be x. Okay, another one you've seen before is y. Variables are just values that can change to whatever we want them to, or like depending on the relationship. We also have independent variables. These are ones that you can control. You can change whatever you want your independent variable to be. And then you also have a dependent variable. Now, this dependent variable is a variable that you can observe and measure, but the only way you can change a dependent variable is by changing the independent variable. And I'll show you what I mean by that in the next few videos here. But the biggest takeaway here is independent variables you can control, dependent, not so much you can control here. So what we're going to be doing with these, right? We need to be able to translate these definitions into things called tables and graphs. So when we make our graph here, it's just a standard graph. I have two axes, or axes. What I usually denote the one going to the right is my x-axis, right? We've seen these before. Y goes up and down, y-axis here. We've seen these before, all the time before in math, but we need to know, okay, how can I relate the x-axis to my independent variables and the y to my dependent? Well, a standard method in which we do in things like science and math is we always plot on the x-axis our independent variable, and on the y-axis we always plot our dependent variable. This way we can see the change as, okay, as I go farther to the right, what is happening on this side? Like, is my dependent variable getting larger, smaller as I go to the right? Okay, so very commonly used, okay, very standard method of always plotting your independent on the x and your dependent on the y. Okay, this is very standard how we do in mathematics, is very standard in how you do in science as well. So need to know this information before we can actually start talking about things like ordered pairs and how we use these graphs to solve problems.